About 20 minutes west of Woodland, California, you can find a small log cabin. Now it's filled with garden tools, but around the year 1851, it was the kitchen, bedroom, and family room for the Fredericks family of Germany. The Fredericks family tree begins with Christian Fredericks, born in 1817, a native of Hamburg, Germany. After a tragic death of tuberculosis, his son Henry bought his own butcher shop in Berlin, and after 3 years, at the age of 30, Henry and his family began their way to America in 1848. At this time, Henry moved his family to Cincinnati, Ohio. Around the year 1852, the gold strike was on in California. Henry sold his business and began making the long journey with his wife and 4 children. They made their way to California with an immigrant train of 20 teams. Henry's family first settled in Hangtown Creek, where he engaged himself in the butcher business once again. After about a year, he sold his business and moved to Diamond Springs, where he opened a small store for miners. After hearing of the fertility of the Sacramento Valley, Henry moved and finally settled his family in the Winters Madison area for good. From odd and end ranching jobs, Henry had made enough money to build a log cabin and buy some land. Finally, when Henry's son John reached the age of 18, he was put in charge of the ranch, and Henry retired to Woodland, where he lived out the rest of his life. Henry's daughter cared for him until his sudden death at age 88 in his home on April 18, 1902 in Woodland, California. There are many articles on Henry's death. They all state that his death caused a general depression in the community. In 1875, John and his wife Dora built a larger home next to the log cabin. This house is now the home of some of the youngest descendants of the Fredericks family. John's great-grandson, Harry Lawrence Fredericks III, was born and raised on the ranch, and now owns and farms the land.
I started working on the ranch when I was about 10 or 12, mowing hay. We had a lot of alfalfa and hogs. And we had 3 mowing machines. I was on one, brother was on the other one. And round in circles until the hay was cut. You can farm more acres. Because my grandfather used to have a team of horses when they did their harvesting with a full harvester. We still have got 2 barns that were built in the 1800s. They're still standing. As long as they have a good roof on them, it seems to last. When the roof goes, the barn goes. My mother came from Minnesota, where there was lots of lakes. She was a real water fan, so she got us interested in the water. Dad went along with it. His only recreation was hunting. Yeah, he was in the Seabees during World War II. I was in Vietnam era. I was in the Air Force. So I stayed in the States. I never went overseas. I'm 5th generation.
Yeah.
She's 6th, and you're 7th. We had a 1-room country school. We usually had average about 15 kids. I was the only one in my grade for about 4 years. But everybody helped each other. And I guess it was okay because a lot of us went to college. I like rice. I like hay. It's a nice clean crop. It's always green. And the rice, there's something about a rice paddy, the wildlife it brings in. The trouble is when you sell property, you end up with money. And when you have money, it seems like it disappears. But if you hang on to the land, you've got security, plus it takes care of you if you take care of it.